right, guys, my name's Corey. This is Money Isn't Hard, and I'm going to talk a little bit about something you may be noticing, whether you're buying gas or going to restaurants. Things seem to be costing a bit more than what is out there, and I feel like I used to be able to go to Costco with $100 and buy everything, and now I wish I had as much money as this lady does with all those hundreds fanned out when I walk in the door, because it's all going to be gone. Pretty much chicken has gone from 99 cents to 3.80 something in some cases. Gas is up 48%. Steak, yes, steak, like beef steak, I love to eat steak, has gone up in price as well. In fact, restaurants are having to raise their prices because it's gone up 30 to 40%. So why is it that we keep hearing, gas, it's only gone up 3%, 5%, or the Fed says, milk has only gone up 5 cents. There's no big issue here because, people don't want to admit what's going on. And a lot of us live in very different regions, and different regions are closer to supply chains, and some have different supply chains, which causes prices to be out of whack when you talk on a national level. But when you start looking at stuff on a localized base, milk by you may be up 50%, whereas steak is up 40% for somebody else. Or gas is up 45%. In fact, that is gigantic, considering just a year ago, a lot of us were paying under $2 a gallon. And now, what is it? Well, it's a lot more than that. All right, so let's jump right into the first article. And that is talking about the Fed. Oh, hold up. I got the wrong article up here. Let me switch it. Here we go. Here is the Fed. Let's make this a little bit bigger so you guys can see it. There we go. All right. So the Fed, they're downplaying the inflation. It's just temporary, guys. Don't worry about it. It's not that bad. Prices are rising because of a perfect storm of rising demand for goods, and that price pressures should ease on their own. It's all good, guys. Don't worry about it. That gas, it'll drop again. Don't worry about it staying that high. But you know what I worry about? I worry about those prices staying this high for a month. No, not a month. I'm worried about them staying this long for 6 months, a year. And the impact it's going to have on the economy. The vacations that people aren't going to be able to afford anymore because they can't save for it. And what does that do? Well, that trickles downstream. Now, I want to show you guys a few different examples. And here it is, the first one, right? You go to Chipotle. Guess what? Your bowl is going to cost more money than it did 3 months ago. Why is that? Well, inflation. Do you really think Chipotle is going to turn around, or any restaurant that's increased their prices because they can't find labor, because people aren't willing to work for the lower wage that they can get now? This is what happens when you pump trillions of dollars into an economy. So we're seeing prices increase at restaurants, and people think it's just because people don't want to work. And I hate to say this, but that's not exactly the case. In fact, when we look at Wingstop, for instance, their prices for chicken has gone from, hold up, it's here somewhere, doubled where they were a year ago, and doubled what's normal for us. 98 cents per pound, which is now $3 and something cents. So Wingstop is becoming ThighStop. They're now going to start selling chicken thighs because chicken thighs are cheap. And that's great. I really think it's great. The business is adapting, but it's because of inflation. And when you go to the steakhouse and you order a steak, and instead of it being $2.79 or $2.69 or ribs for $1.99 at the store, you're now going to be spending $2.79, $4. Oh, I'm sorry. Ribs, they used to be $2.69. Now they're $4 a pound. In fact, in March, Bailey paid $39 for a case of chicken. This month, March, April, May, June, 4 months later, she paid $87, more than double the price for the same product. So yes, inflation is here. Things are going to cost more money. And when things cost more money, wages have to increase to keep up with those goods. And guess what? The vicious cycle starts over again. But that's not it. Let's look at this article by HBR. HBR is Harvard Business Review. They write some great articles, and this has to do with, should you raise prices? If you're a business owner, should you raise prices? Well, obviously, you have to raise prices to remain profitable if all of your suppliers have raised prices. So I can't blame them for doing this. Wages increased in April and May, grew at 7.4% annualized. Gas prices have jumped by 49.6%. But you know what? It has nothing to do with the politics, has nothing to do with anything. That's normal. Companies have to raise prices because their inputs now cost more. Now I want to tell you guys this. Inflation is here to stay. It may decrease. Things may drop back down just like we're seeing with lumber, right? Lumber skyrocketed. House prices got surcharges because of how much lumber was, and now it's falling down. But you know, I doubt that it's going to fall all the way back down to where that price was pre-pandemic. I would guarantee that's probably going to equal out probably 10-15% higher than where it was. Should you invest in these companies? Well, that's a good question. I don't give investment advice. All right, that's a lie. I do give investment advice occasionally, but it's at your own risk. Personally, I don't have investments in any of the companies I've just spoken about, except for one, and I think that's in an ETF that I own. I would recommend looking at the industries that you're planning on investing in. And when you look at them, say, wait a second. This stock price is this high because their earnings was crazy, but it's only because that lumber price shot all the way up, but now it's coming crashing down. So there's a potential for those stocks, those suppliers, for their stocks to also retreat or come down a little bit. So be aware of that when you're looking at stocks. Be aware of that when you're trying to plan an exit strategy. You may want to set your parameters a little bit differently than you would with a different stock where you expect it to bubble in and out, whereas the lumber came on down fast. Anyhow, my name's Corey. This is Money Isn't Hard. If you disagree, if you don't think inflation is here to stay, then leave a comment, hit that like button. I will respond to your comments. I love reading them. And like I always say, money isn't hard. And honestly, guys, it just takes some effort. Educate yourself. Hit that like and subscribe. Appreciate you.